we'll get into
Look
the
who joined the
episode.
Beard Brothers, Isaac.
I know, dude. Seriously, I'm gonna get you sponsored. I'm gonna get you sponsored by our friends.
We need to sponsor this guy.
Dude,
Isaac, lift your head up.
My goodness,
Wow.
man.
Every day I say, God damn, I need to shave, and I get too busy and I don't shave.
Don't do it, dude. Don't do it.
You need to shave. You look stupid.
Don't do it, man.
I look so much sexier with no hair.
Yeah, dude. I'm
Anyway,
telling you,
go
bro.
on.
I'm gonna be real honest with you. The whole dark mustache and then the white, bro, it works, man. I wish I had that.
I want it all
Don't we
white.
look like a three-stage?
What?
We do. Yeah,
Hey,
we
dude,
look like
don't we look like a three-stage photo? Like, here's where you start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go to Todd.
A little bit of gray, yeah.
Then
Yeah,
you're
no,
with
Todd,
Isaac.
I need you to keep this look for about 6 months, because then I can just dye the front of my mustache darker and I can be Todd Lyons for Halloween. What up? Yeah. Heard it here first.
I'm gonna be Isaac Santa Claus.
Yeah, dude, sir. You know, you can take the job anytime. What's up, everybody? It's your friend Isaac from Big Bike BMX, and I'm here with my ride or die homie Craig tonight. What's up, Craig?
Yo, what's up, man? How's it going, brother? Good to be here again.
Dude, okay, Craig, I mean, I've been legit stoked all day for this episode. We talked about it last night on the podcast. It just goes over on iTunes and Spotify, so check that out. But Craig and I were talking about this episode because, Craigery, this is our grand finale. This is our grand finale tonight. This is our return of the Jedi of our collaboration saga with Todd Lyons. Would you agree, or would you?
Oh, bro, I totally agree. This is super saucy, man. I mean, we did the first 2 collab episodes to lead what I was like envisioning getting to this third one. I mean, the first 2 were super dope and a lot of people like them. Got a lot of, comments. We got a lot of interest in them, but here's the one that really, really brings it home for me. So yeah, I can't wait to get this started, bro.
Dude, it's on. Okay, you guys. So to give you a brief history, if you haven't seen the series, go back on our channel, look for Todd Lyons Talks About Collaborations 1. Watch that, because he talks about a lot of the early fixie type collabs that he did. Then the episode 2, we get into the famous, and we get into the Santa Cruz collab. I mean, we talk about a lot of other ones too, but like those 2 are probably the most fire ones that we get into. We got a picture of D-Blocks when I think he's 12 at Disneyland with Todd and Travis Barker. We named one of the anchors that was taking a picture with them. Like, we gave him our own name of Norman. So it's a pretty funny episode. Go watch that one, then come back to this one, and we are going to talk with Todd Lyons tonight, the director of SE Bikes, about the collabs that didn't happen. Now, Craig,
Yeah.
when you think collabs that didn't happen, what comes to mind for you?
Man, I
What
can tell
things
you
do we need
this.
to go over?
Well, I mean, dude, they didn't happen, so I wouldn't know. But, just thinking about some of the things, like there would be some collabs that I'd want to see, out there with SE Bikes, either in the future, or thinking about ones that, man, that would be a dope bike to collab, or a company to collab with. So what's really got me interested is what Todd's going to bring to the table tonight. I want to see the ones that obviously we don't know about. They're going to rear their heads and show us like, oh, dope, really? That one? Okay. And then, my thing is, when I see those, bro, I want to see not only what they would, look like, right? But I want to know like how they came about, how the whole situation started, and then what really kept it from reaching the market, reaching the masses, because that's always interesting, is like, 1, what is it? 2, why didn't it happen?
Yeah.
So kind of like what everyone's going to be thinking about, right?
Yeah, dude, because I picture these meetings to happen in a big boardroom somewhere over the size like skyscrapers in LA, like from the entourage manager's like office, and Todd's in there just being cutthroat, like we're gonna do this, and then talks break down, and it's just like, do you walk out and you're just like, well, I didn't like you guys anyway, you know what I mean? Or is it like cordial? I want to know like the facts on that stuff. So. And then I
Totally.
think, Craig, what I think we should also do is just throw random names at Todd, because Todd is really good at keeping secrets, but Todd is also a fan of having fun. So I think we could probably like throw a couple names at Todd and be like, all right, dude, what about, this brand? And be like,
Yeah,
true or false? You had a collab or there might be one. I
I
think that
love
would be
it.
hilarious. Okay, cool.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Get some brands ready. All right, Craig, can you introduce our guest? You're the best at it.
Man, thank you, Isaac. And I think we already did, but ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Big Bike BMX for his third installment of the collab series with SE Bikes. None other than the director himself of SE Bikes, Mr. Todd Lyons. Todd, welcome to the show, brother.
What's up, dudes? Glad to be back. Third time's a charm.
Okay, so Todd, I need to really let you know. I'm a big fan of the beard you got going on right now. I think we should maintain this.
Yeah, maybe the beard's a collab.
Yeah, talk, Todd, so we can get you in there. Let's show off your the manliness.
I'm just trying to be like Isaac. I'm trying to be like you. It looks like you got a little trim on your beard, and I got your shrapnel.
Yeah, dude. So here's what happens, you guys. So as a beard person, here's what you know. Like if you're working or whatever, you're watching TV at night and you're laying back in your chair or whatever, and you do this, eventually, dude, your beard starts to grow forward. You get like a divot. And so my wife was clowning me on it. So I was like, whatever. So I went and got the trimmers and I trimmed up my beard and it landed in Todd's direction. Because man, that's a beautiful mane you got going there, brother.
Thanks, dude. It's been a pleasure. I've had about enough of it. My wife's had enough. I even got hair. I got hair sticking out on the side. All kinds of stupid stuff.
Dude, it's the COVID look. Yeah. You know what I mean? Grow it out until we're all out.
Yeah.
That should be the mantra. Dude, here's what you do, Todd. Grow it out and then let all of us shave it at the 3-day ride out.
Boy, how fun would that be?
Oh, I would love that, Craig.
Yeah, I think that beats a dunk tank any day,
I'd rather show you my nuts in the dunk tank.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, Todd. So I'm excited about this. We just talked about this. Craig and I talked about it last night. Like, man, the last 24 hours, I felt like I needed to like hire someone to distract you from email and phone and everything, because one time, like we talked about doing this episode, and then you posted up on your Instagram a picture of a collab that didn't happen. And then it was like, I believe the person commented in the comments, like, hey man, can't post this. And then all of a sudden the post disappeared. And I'm like, dude, I've wanted to do this so bad. And I'm like, man, Todd's going to go posting something about like a collab that didn't happen and get us all in trouble before we even shoot this. So we're excited about this.
Yeah, I'll get in trouble before you, so no worries.
Yeah. Well, then with that being said, let's talk about all the good stuff that is going to get you in trouble, but not us. I love that. So Todd, you've sent along a couple of folders, and we'll just kind of talk about these bikes in order.
Starting with, these are all the collabs that really, most of these projects are what didn't happen, whether we were in the design stage, some of them, maybe we're just talking to them and just never really manifested into anything. Some of these other ones, we had drawings, we had signed agreements, licensing agreements, and then it just died. I mean, every project, is, not every project is going to make it all the way through from, first initial discussion to concept to production to delivery. So yeah, these are all basically everything I sent you are the ones that didn't make it. They didn't make it all the way. They were never born, but they were marinating, as you'll see, with the drawings and stuff. So it's just kind of fun little story of what didn't happen.
Dude,
I think that's
cool.
fascinating,
Yeah.
Todd. Like, because we're going to see the bikes that, like you said, they went through all these phases of conceptualization, design. There's renderings or drawings or whatever. And so, like, as we look through these, if later on the show, maybe you can let us know some of those that just don't have pictures, don't have designs out for them. Give us an idea. Maybe a couple other brands that that were in talks but never there's nothing to look at. That might be kind of cool too.
Yeah, dude.
I won't tell you anything about Kanye West then.
Oh, man.
See,
Isaac, right there, just out of the gate, dude. Isaac, you said it, dude.
I'm telling you, you guys, buckle up. Go get some nachos real quick. Just hit pause. Go get some nachos and come back, because I promise you, this is going to be like, this is going to be this is our Jedi, you guys. This is. I know. I just feel it. Like Todd's going to be like, I shouldn't be saying this, but right. And here we go. So, Todd, one of the questions that Craig and I were fascinated by last night around this topic is, when something doesn't work, how often does it not happen versus does it work its way out to production where I can go buy a collab bike?
Well, I think most everything I sent you is years and years old. Lately, there hasn't really been, besides this one girl, Tiffany. Everything's kind of everything's kind of gone
wink,
through,
wink. Besides this girl named Tiffany.
Yeah.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah. And her company.
Yeah. So, but no, there really hasn't been anything major that we were working on that kind of died. Actually, a couple years ago. Yeah. We'll get to one from 2 years ago.
Okay.
I'm going to send you one more.
Yeah.
There's another one. That's a beer company. Let me dig that up 1 second. Special projects. I think I may have sent this. Did we talk about this one before?
I think we did, but you can send the picture again because people would love to see it.
Yeah, this totally falls in line with okay. All right, so yeah, I can multitask.
Yeah, just send it over, and
that's another one that was 2 years ago. This is a 2019 bike that just didn't happen.
This is also, if you ever run into any promotional material for this particular bike, if it's the one that I'm thinking of, if it happens to be a blue ribbon winner, then if you find anything, dude, your friend Sean Spence at PhoenixBikeCompany, the only thing that he likes other than SE bikes is Pabst blue ribbon. So if you ever run into any old swag, send that to Sean.
All right, noted.
He'll probably tattoo you a portrait. He'll tattoo your portrait on his body. I can tell you everything.
All right, that one's coming. Great.
Cool story, bro.
Well, this is anyways, I just emailed that to you, so that'll be coming over. So all right, we can start from the top. Yeah, it might take a second, but yeah.
Cool.
All right, that's one. Yeah, and most of them. I mean, I can give you the story of why, for most all of them, why they didn't go forward. Sometimes it was our call, sometimes it was their call, sometimes it was something out of both of our hands.
That makes sense.
And the brand.
I'm going to go first with the 10 deep, and I'll show you this. There's a couple pictures. I'm going to start. Excuse me. I'm going to start with this one, and we'll go from there. So this looks like this is the OM Flyer. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is back in, you see 2009 at the top, and 10 Deep was a streetwear clothing brand. I didn't even Google. I don't even know if they're still around or how relevant they are. So that was when, our first, collabs we did with streetwear clothing brands was Crooks and Castles and the Hundreds. And that was 2009. So this was another one that was on the table. I can't remember why it didn't go through, but I mean, before anyone gets too flabbergasted about that bike graphic, you know, that was, you know, a decade ago. It's a long story, but when I used to do the graphics with my graphic person, it was actually somebody over in Asia, and they would just use this weird generic bike, you know, but you know, the bike wasn't going to look like that. So, you know, don't be alarmed. You know, it was going to be a 26-inch OM flyer. But, you know, that was the colors that they were planning, you know, and they wanted to put, you can see on letter B, you know, cell royal or cell leather saddle, you know, some Italian made seats.
Yeah. We have a picture of that coming.
Weird. Yeah. And
brushed
then,
aluminum, wood grain wheels.
Yeah, Velocity wood grain. So remember the year before, you know, so this is kind of taking a spin off of our wood grain OM flyer. So they wanted to use those wood grain rims, which we used on our OM flyer the year before.
Yeah. All right, you guys, I'm going to show you the next. There's actually pictures of what he's talking about coming up here. So
yeah, so here's another unique. So they at one point, you know, they were wanting to actually build this on that's the Flowable Flyer frame set. You know, the Flowable Flyer race frame set. So there was a lot of weirdness and interesting stuff here. You know, so there was actually, you know, being talked about putting this on a 24-inch Flowable. I remember back in 2009, if this was a 2009 bike, we're working on this in 2008, and the Big Ripper didn't exist.
Right.
You know, big bike besides a 26, you know, a big BMX bike back then was a 24 and a 26. Yeah. So 24 was completely normal for like, oh yeah, let's do a retro bike, you know, big BMX bike for the you know, bigger guys. Oh. And 24 is standard. Nowadays, 24 inches, you know, for 10-year-old kids, it seems like.
Yeah, dude. Hey, something I see here. What are the odds of us getting internal chain tensioners on future bikes? Have you looked at it?
Yeah. I mean, how much power are you laying out with them thighs?
Yeah, dude. No kidding. I use them a lot. I use them a lot.
Well, because of your flatland stuff, or because of I'm just curious, or because of your brute strength.
Yeah, I mean, mostly what it is when like, I've never had them fail. My son had them fail on the Big Ripper because he would bomb down a hill and just like pedal stupid on the, so he'd be like, he gets to that top part where he's like, okay, now I got to come back down because it's like a valley, come back down, boom. It like every single time I'm like, all right, man, chain tensioners. And then, you know, and it worked, like the chain tensioners work. I'm just curious because like I've had this debate, Craig and I actually have had to talk about this, and it was always curious, like, man, is it the aluminum is too soft? And because I mean, I don't want to put a hole in my frame if there's no real benefit out of it, you know?
Yeah. So, well, one, I mean, with the loop tail rear end and that classic design, it's kind of hard to put a built-in chain tensioner.
Yeah.
You know, but we've never really, I've never really tried or, took it to the drawing board because it's like, hey, this is an old school retro bike. It's like, you want a chain tensioner, you can add an external chain tensioner.
Right.
That's, kind of number one. And then number two, I mean, I'm not the strongest guy, but I've never moved my wheel ever. Yeah. I've never like torqued it so much, so, but then again, if kids are putting younger guy putting pegs on there and they're beating shit out of their bikes, and the peg obviously gives more leverage, where they're, or they're not tightening, their axle nut enough, and if you have built-in chain tensioner and you didn't happen to tighten your axle nut down appropriately, then that built-in chain tensioner is going to help.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's kind of my 2 cents. I mean, I guide a lot of things. I ride these bikes. Obviously, I've been riding them since day one of working with SE or riding for SE in 2000 and end of 2003 or beginning of 2003. And it's interesting to me when people say, dude, your headset sucks, or your bottom bracket, or your this and that. It's like, I've never changed the bottom bracket. I've never you know, oh, my hub fell apart. It's like, or my hub fell apart. It's like, my hubs have never fallen apart. Hubs, and I'll see photos of the bikes, and there's like somebody like posting like, look at all the bearings just fell out. You know, I was like, well, that's you did something. You didn't take care of your bike. You know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I guess what I'm getting at is yes, built-in chain tensioners would be, you know, an upgrade, but I don't know if, I don't know, like I said, with the loop tail rear end and that big dropout, I just don't know, you know.
Yeah. I run regular chain tensioners on my PK, and I do all like, I mean, lawnmowers probably put the most flex and tension on there, and I've never had it. And I'm running, like, they came with chain tensioners, so like I didn't even add them. I added the pegs. Yeah. I broke the warranty. So if it fails, I'm also not going to contact you because I broke my bike. You didn't break my bike.
Yeah.
Another discussion.
Anyway.
That's a fact, you guys. So, all right. So the next picture, there's the saddle.
Wow.
Don't get your nuts stuck in there.
Yeah. That looks like one of those 80s, you know, or whatever they were, where you put the vegetable on the tray with a blade on it, you know. I guess so. It looks like
the nut eater seat.
Yeah, dude, I just don't like, here's the thing. Like, I know a lot of people like those Brooks saddles, you know, and man, I'm stoked for their butts, you know what I mean? Cause they're the most comfortable, they break in. But like, dude, I remember, and Craig and Todd, both of you guys, man, I promise you, we used to ride all over town with a flat ass CrushedMX seat that was plastic. They had zero padding, no care in the world. I mean, they gave two bad words about like my comfort. It was like a plastic seat, and it was all grinded down from flipping back. We're doing those like ice cream maker flatland tricks, like, dude. So I don't understand the whole, like, I have to get the most comfortable seat. And dude, I'm old, bro. Like, that should be a main thing. But I like the modern seats. I don't see a big deal about like the comfort level of modern BMX seats. Mm-hmm. You can sit on them and pedal 20, 30, 40 miles and be fine.
Yep.
So, but I mean, all for you, dude, if you want to go spend a bunch of money. Yeah,
$180 for a leather seat. Anyway, yeah. So this was a weird seat. I'll admit it. And we weren't necessarily going to spec this. This was just what they sent us, and they're like, yeah, maybe we can get a seat like this. It's like, okay. And yeah. So then
I'm curious. Yeah. When they do that, I mean, do you take into do you consult with them and say like, all right, you just made MSRP $100 on top of what it could have been?
Oh yeah, no, yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, no, because they're not going to know the ins and outs of the cost and the time, you know, just the hassle and the molds that we'd have to create for certain stuff. Right. Yeah, and then this doesn't really make, they wanted to put a leather or some sort of like chain, or chain stay protector, more for style than anything. But anyway, I just attached this. I sent you this seat and this picture just to show you the weirdness, and we weren't going to do this, but just So anyway, next bike.
Yeah, I was going to say, Todd. Now I don't know what 10 Deep is like as far as a clothing brand. I don't know like what their style was or what their branding looked like. Do you find that, you'll start to collab with a brand or start the process of talking with them and getting into the design phase? Do most brands like want to cross over their colorways and logos into the bike, or like 10 Deep, did it seem like they were just going way off on another lane with their design?
Well, fuck, I can't even remember. I mean, like I said, that was over a decade ago, so I can't remember. And it didn't get that far into the discussion with them. And I think, like I said, that same year in 2009, we did the Crooks and Capsules and hundreds. So I think there was like maybe three brands that you had hit us up, and then we just went with the other two. I can't, but yeah, of course, every brand is going to kind of give their spin, of what they want on the bike, and usually, when they do the graphics first, like I can give them a graphic file and they can do it, or they can give us their logos. Like I can give them our bike graphic and our logos, and then they do their logos and merge it all together, or they can give us their logos and then we do it. We merge it in with we create the concept. with our SE designer, and that's usually the smoother route because a lot of times they'll pick what they pick just isn't possible, you know.
Yeah, I was going to ask, so, you know, basically, like, have you ever sent that brand's design back? Like, no, let's take two on this because this doesn't.
Oh yeah,
work.
no, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you'll, yeah, no, yeah. Sometimes, usually when, yeah, I actually one of the when we get there, one of the folders that Isaac has, there's like someone, you know, like 5 or 6 from one brand that we didn't do. But oh no, there's definitely, you know, it could be the 14th revision, you know, and then, you know, that, yeah.
Cool. All right. So the next one we're going to go with is called Black Scale. And this one looks like it's a 26-inch quad, right?
Yes. This was right around that exact same time. I don't know if there's a date on there for 2009 or 10. I'm assuming it's probably 2009 if you see it on any of the files.
I don't, dude, I'm looking. Yeah, there's one more, but doesn't have the date. So I was curious.
Yeah. So, but anyway, it was that same era, you know, the same era of, you know, really of us thinking that any collab we do was going to be with some, you know, streetwear clothing brand, you know, that it was DC shoes for 7, 8, 9, and then we had Crooks and Castles in the hundreds, and then we had 10 Deep coming at us and Black Scale, you know, and yeah. So this was, yeah, go back to that. That was, you know, that was doing that was the head badge and also like an individually numbered seat tube badge, I think.
That's what it says.
Yeah. So
but I like the detail.
And we did do, yeah.
Like the detail, like please replace the top logo.
Wait, what'd you say?
It's like, please replace the top logo with the official SE Racing logo to scale specifications.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like, I love that.
So that was obviously what they were working on. So, yeah, you know, when we first did the DC bike the first year, you know, we had a little metal badge that was on the seat tube, and it said, you know, it was a DC shoes limited. I can't remember exactly what it said, limited edition, and it said 001, 002, 003, you know, and then also on the dropouts of that bike, you know, just like all of our limited edition collaboration bikes, it was individually numbered with a stamp. But yeah, I think we need to do a bit more of that, you know, maybe some, you know, bring back the metal head badges as well, you know, and not just bring back the standard SE head badge, but when we collab with a brand, instead of doing a collaboration sticker, head tube badge sticker, you know, instead of doing a head tube sticker, you know, to do like a metal head tube badge, you know, to really give it that, you know, kind of put it over the top a bit more.
Yeah, I think that's dope. I mean, I even like the idea how you said that the badges were, you know, would have like a number or a you know, like 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever. You know, that just puts another extra touch on the whole like limited run of that bike, and you know, the collector heads would be all stoked on that, and just everyone in general. That'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to take your wheel off to see the number.
Yeah, Isaac said you wouldn't have to take your wheel off, but yeah, because I've had people like DM me like, dude, where would the number be on my bike? You know, and they've looked everywhere. They flipped it over, and then it's like, bro, it's on the inside of the bottom bracket. Look in the back.
Yeah, look by the dropout.
Rear dropout.
On the dropout. Oh yeah, sorry, dropout.
Yeah. But you know, I couldn't sleep at night thinking, man, I hope the factory doesn't mess up those, you know, the sticker, the metal sticker of the number, you know, if they, oh God, that'd be a nightmare.
Right.
So one, not nightmare we had, but one thing that's happened, you know, quite a few times is, you know, every bike that we make, you know, we make one sample bike, at least one sample bike. And that one sample bike is the photo shoot bike. You know, typically, you know, we don't really even have a schedule anymore because we're so busy and we have so much shit going on, and the lead times are so crazy right now. Now we're just doing bikes kind of all throughout the year and releasing them throughout the year. But before, you know, I think I told you this before, you know, we'd start working on colors and graphics in early summer, finalize them by late summer, get the spec and graphics, and then also finalizing spec, get that over to the factory. I'd go to the factory in September. I would see a lot of new parts and stuff. I would see the sticker sheets. and then I would confirm everything by October. Okay, on paper, bike is confirmed. And then I'd go back to the factory over in China in February, late January, early February, and they would have one sample bike that was done for, one sample for every single bike. And that was the photo shoot. So we would do the catalog photo shoot. And that would be like in February. And also right before that, in January, we would place our first production order to the factory. So we'd order in January, and it'd be about 4 months. So February, March, April, May. Bikes are produced in May. They ship over. They're available in June. I'm going to kind of make a long story here. But some of these limited edition sample bikes, like, hey, we're going to make 250 of that bike. And I would get there, and the sample was stamped in the rear dropout 001, but then when they run the production, they start with 001. It's like, fuck, there's 2 number ones out there. So and then it happened one year that we have European partners, and there's Eurobike and the trade shows over there, and they ordered a bike and they had 001. Like, god damn it, and it happened where on Facebook I think only one time where somebody's saying, I got number 1. Somebody else like, I got number 1. Like, man, So anyway, that's just a little internal nightmare,
That's pretty funny, dude.
So yeah, funny, not funny. So what we do now is the first sample is not stamped, not stamped at all, or I guess I probably should stamp it with sample, that'd make it even more, because that bike gets out somewhere. It's like that bike will go, this past year, every sample bike I gave nearly every single one away to the riders at the hoedown, but other years we would have a trade show or something, and that bike would just get sold to a bike shop or something. It would go somewhere, so we'll make it in the market.
Yeah. All right, dude. So the next bike we have is the DGK. And we'll show, I want to start with like what the concept was and then what we had.
Yeah. So this is actually, this isn't so much a collaboration, production bike that didn't happen. This isn't that at all. This is, DGK is Dirty Ghetto Kids, skateboard brand, run by, who started DGK? A very famous street skater. Come on, you guys aren't helping me out.
Man, I wish I knew.
Yeah, I have no idea. I just know the logo, DGK.
Yeah, but DGK is Dirty Ghetto Kids, a very legit skate brand run by a very, or started by a very legit skateboarder. So they hit us up recently, and there's this event called the Zoomies 100K. It's a one time a year. Zoomies does this big party, big event, big giveaway, and all of their brands create something. Not all. I don't know if it's all the brands, because I've never been there. I'm not that familiar with this market, but from my understanding, brands create something unique to donate. And then that bike is, I don't know if it's auctioned off or it's raffled off or something, but it was unique that this year DGK hit us up and said, hey man, we'd love to do a, merge together and do a bike. Yeah. And this is just a one-off. This wasn't a production. We weren't in any collaboration production discussion. Do you have photos of the bike too, right?
I do. Yeah. It's Jamie Thomas, by the way. Jamie Thomas is who founded.
Okay. Yep. Okay.
All right, so here's what the bike actually looked like, which is,
yeah.
And wait till I'll start with the bottom one, because I think that's where you can see that they actually have it matches a deck.
That's pretty fire, man. I mean, like,
yeah.
So Todd, when you have like a DGK that's like, look, we want to do this bike, and here's our ideas, and this comes out, right? And it's really not for production. It's not a one-off. It's more like for an event. Okay. That's what this is, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. And so like, do you ever look at something like this? Like, dude, this could be a production bike. Like, do you ever ask like brands like DGK, like that do this type of event bike? Do you guys want to put this into production, or is it, like, does that conversation ever happen?
Well, yeah, I mean, any brand that we're talking with, we're talking with that brand, so you don't know what will happen in the future, if anything, but we're already talking, so to speak. This was just for this one-off bike, and I actually, when I was just looking at what's on that bike, those pedals were in my garage, the grips were in my garage, the donuts were in my garage. I sent them the stem, I think, was in my garage. I sent them, a lot of those parts. And then actually Mike Sayergar from HB Custom Garage, he did he did the seat, he did the pads, I put him in touch with them. So this was literally a one-off customized bike. But yes, I mean, who knows, what'll happen in the future if we ever, did something with them. But there's no plans right now. We have we have a lot of, potential collabs on deck, where we can't even, I don't know, I'm not sure. We can't even, that's a bad word. It's
like release
we
them
got a
all?
lot of shit coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
no, yeah, we got to space them out. We're going to have so much stuff coming out and so much unique stuff. And it's really, really a fun time right now.
Yeah,
All right, so-
absolutely. And I was thinking to myself, like, man, to be in Todd's shoes and look at something like, a one-off or an event bike, it's just like, how do you not go, man, we should at least make like 300 of these, because to me that bike is fire. I mean, I just like the layout, the design, the colorway, and like you said, you never know what can happen in talks in the future, but it was totally baffling as far as like, do those conversations happen? And would brands be like, we really just want to do the bike for this event, we're not looking to go into production? And then how much persuasion would you have to be like, look, you guys, this would be a hot bike?
Yeah, well, I don't even want to enter the discussion of working with any other brands right now. Like, it's the same thing with the SE crew. It don't matter how badass you are. Like, dude, hey man, you should. Or somebody's telling me, dude, you need to get so and so on the crew. It's like, we have fucking 18 riders. We're maxed out. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got so much stuff going on, and it's like, no matter how rad that brand is, and no matter how rad that additional rider is that we could add to the crew, it's like, we got enough stuff going on, and it's like we got enough flavor and we got enough heat that one addition isn't really gonna make any. It's gonna be more work than anything. And I'm
if Disney calls, bro, take that call though. I'm telling you, if Disney calls.
we shot that. We shot. No, not shot. You'll see the one from Fox Studios, I think is the parent company, but we've turned some heavy hitters down. Believe you me.
I like that. All right. So we're going to go right into this is the famous set, and we have seen some of these, but we didn't really get into a whole lot. So.
Yeah. So is this a famous Stars and Straps? Yeah. So
yeah.
Is that what this is?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just when I was going through the photos or the folders, I was like, this is just unique because this is just an example. And I don't know if we looked at these, but an example of the different versions, and when the brand is saying, hey, how about this, how about this, how about this, how about this, or they're saying, asking us to mock up 8 different designs. And these are all just, everyone knows what the famous Stars and Straps bike came out to be, and you can see up there, right. This was back in 2014. We were working on this. I think it came out in 2015. But these were all ideas basically based from Travis Barker. Travis, did really well at guiding, the communication and design, and boom, that's the one no, that's not the one. Yeah, sorry, looking at my phone. But yeah, because that's a tiger stripe. We ended up creating a famous, it was a graphic. That's a wild one. But I have some pants, some famous Stars and Straps pants with the exact same print that's on the bike, or some shorts.
And like, yeah, what's fun to look at is like, here we are 2014, here we are 2015 revision dates. Like that, I just think it's really cool to see like the way things have like changed throughout the revisions. It's interesting. Did they ever make this jersey?
Yep. Yeah, I have it.
Of course you do.
Actually, no, wait, did they make? They made I think they changed. I don't remember having the big ripper all the way in the back. I think it changed a little bit for the production, but they
Yeah.
did make one for sure.
That's pretty dope. And it does have the kind of weird, I don't know if you call it camo or what, but like it does have that print that's on the bike.
Yeah.
It's like a tiger camo.
Yeah.
Or
So,
like
you know,
something.
yeah, it's their own because it has the famous logo in there. So actually, this was maybe, you know what this was? This was that BP is a Brooklyn Project, which is a famous store on Melrose, and that's where we did the launch party.
This might have been just for the launch party then.
Yes.
This was June of 2014, so.
Yeah, so that makes sense that it was a 2015 model year bike that we were debuting, you know, that summer.
Yep. Totally makes sense. All right. So do you have a favorite collab? Like as far as like the business dealings of it, the way it went? Or just like who was cool to work with? Was PE cool to work with?
Public Enemy, I mean, that was my favorite rap group, you know, of all time, and super favorite all through the 80s and 90s. But when we did the Public Enemy ride out from Harlem to Brooklyn to the free Public Enemy concert, when we got to the concert, and kind of went backstage, and I was talking, they introduced me to Flavor Flav. And I don't think he knew anything about anything, like the bikes, and and we've been doing this whole Public Enemy ride out, we're riding to the concert, and he's like, "Who are you?" I was like, so it was like, yeah. So anyway, but they weren't Chuck D and Flavor. They weren't part of the project at all. It was their what's it called?
Like their PR people.
Yeah. So, but the dude that but they were really it wasn't like a third party company like that where they didn't know. But I think Flavor Flav doesn't really know much of anything anyway. But Chuck D, he was super down. He knew all about it. He was hyped. He saw the bike and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the coolest brand that I could that makes me the most proud, but Travis, I mean, I still talk with Travis Barker, he's always been, it's cool working with somebody who's just down for, what we're doing, like Marshawn Lynch, I mean, he's fucking dope, he's just so cool. And he's down, he's probably the most enjoyable guy to work with. And with Marshawn for the beast mode, it's I work with him and his basically the guy who runs the beast mode stores, and that's it, just those two, no bigger third party company or anything like that. But what's really cool about most all of these collabs, and especially now that we're starting to work with more kind of famous people and hip hop artists and stuff like that, is now we're really dealing directly with the person, at some point, so it's not just and I think I probably told you this before, it's like I will back away and just say no, not even return an email when somebody comes at me with, hey, I'm so and so. I manage this list of people, and there's like 20 different people, and they're like, do you care to work with any of them? They're like, well, no. It's like we want to hear that. I want to see a picture of Tyler, the creator, riding an FE bike, and then I want to message him, and then he messaged me back. And that's exactly how that one happened. Recently, Tyler, the creator, put me in contact with Pharrell to send Pharrell a bike. Next thing you know, I'm on the phone with Pharrell Williams, sending him two bikes for him and his kid. That's the connection that the real connections.
Right. Dude. I mean, you think about like, when you are working with a big company and the difference between that and like Travis Barker sending you like napkin sketches, you're like, dude. Like Travis Barker from Blink-182 sends me napkin sketches for bikes he wants, like that's pretty impressive versus the, I have to go check an email from a creative firm about whatever, it's I think it's so cool.
Yeah.
It's so much more cool when they're involved,
No, yeah, 100%. And then like when we did Dogtown Skateboards, that was dealing directly with Jim Muir, who runs the brand and, started it way back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does he have a famous brother?
Yeah, actually, yeah, his brother, Mike Muir, the lead singer of
Okay.
Suicidal Tendencies.
I was like, I
That's
do that last name in Dogtown. Okay, makes sense. So we've got like the next one I've got up to the Huff. This is 2018. I can't wait to hear about this bike.
So yeah, and I forgot to attach it. I had pictures. They did an event. So this was, I had other pictures, but
I have
an
them.
event.
I have them.
Oh, from last time probably. Yeah. So a few years ago now, I guess 2020. Yeah. So they were doing a clothing drop with some checkerboards and kind of a flashback to old school BMX. And they were also doing a party at, a barbecue, evening party, not really party, but at the Whittier Narrows BMX track. And it was basically one to I guess reward some of their dealers, some of their the shops that sell their clothes, and two, to launch this new, limited edition capsule of, some old school, BMX flavor, shirts and stuff.
Yeah.
And with that being said, they're like, hey, let's do some one-off bikes. And again, this was one-off. We made 2 bikes. We had them at that event. I took them out there. Got to meet Ben Huff. No, Mike Huffnagel. Yeah, and he actually passed away recently. The guy who started Huff. I think of brain cancer, which is really unfortunate.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are the photos that they did. They orchestrated that photo, and the next one, this photo shoot. So yeah, so these are just kind of one-off that we, and that was, they got the bikes, painted up and we got the stickers made. So they were actually hitting us up a lot, soon after wanting to do a collab, like a full legit, hey, let's do something. And hold a second. Wait 1 second.
Yeah.
Sorry, my computer is doing weird shit. So they wanted to do something, and 3 months later, hey, you guys ready? And hey, and then SE's parent company, filed bankruptcy, a couple of years ago, and then that postponed everything. I was like, oh no, we're just not ready. We're not ready, and I kept just kind of pushing them off, and then nothing happened. And then you saw recently, if you that they did a collaboration with Cult bikes, and a 29-inch collaboration Cult came out, but originally, they were they're pushing to work with us, and we just weren't ready with everything going on.
That's fair. All right.
Yeah.
We'll move on to Sean. This one's for you. This is the Pabst Blue Ribbon bike, and we have heard a little bit about this bike, but if you can give us like the elevator pitch of why this bike didn't happen. This was
so this was 3 years ago, because looking at you see 2019, but that's because there's going to be a 2019 bike, but
this is January
when we started working on that. Yeah, exactly. So January of 18, so 3 years ago. So this was a Japanese theme. I don't know if it was some sort of anniversary. I mean, I guess they were not because 1844 and 3 year 8. Anyways, there was some I can't remember what the tie-in was, but it was the Japanese artist that was doing this. And that's a picture. Yeah, man, that's a picture of my dirty thumb on the left. But that was me over at the factory. This was going to be a production bike, and that's actually that was putting the graphics on. It looks like a big flyer frame. And they had a crazy timeline where this is January, and they needed it in stock by like May 15th or something like that. And it was just basically the timeline was just too crazy. And then, SE's parent company filed bankruptcy I can't remember when, but yeah, anyway, we had to just basically back out, after doing kind of all that work. yeah, so that would have been awesome to do a second bike, you know, because we did the Pabst PBR bike OM Flyer back in, I can't remember when, but yeah, they would have been really cool. And this was a really unique one that was, you know, it was good. It would have been really cool. And then
yeah, dude, the graffiti stuff, dude, really catches your eye.
Yeah. Well, you know what doesn't catch your eye is if you Google Pabst Blue Ribbon bike and you see the bike that they ended up doing.
Oh,
it's
no.
embarrassing. So they did do a bike, and it was a non-branded, you know. So I think they just went to, you know, some factory and just had a bike made and put the PBR on it. But I think it's just, yeah, it is a BMX-ish bike. Yeah. This would have been awesome. But like I said, it just didn't happen. It was just the time, and I think even in their agreement, it was like, okay, we need them by this date, and if we don't get them by this date, you know, we have full right to cancel. You know, like, well, shit, we can't, all the parts made and all that, and then so yeah, it was just too risky. But it would have been awesome.
Very cool. I mean, dude, very cool pads, very cool graphics.
Todd, earlier you were talking about some of the individual artists like you're starting to work with that you mentioned, and do you think there'll be something in line for, you know, the collaborations have always been with a brand or a company or something, you know, something along those lines. Do you guys have any, or do you have any inclination to do a collab bike with an individual that's not necessarily tied to a corporation or brand or you know, anything like that? Like, I don't want to name a name because I don't want to throw someone's name out there, but I mean, will there be any plans for like say a music artist by themselves as the you know, branding for the bike?
Yes. Yeah, no, there's I mean, we have a list of people, brands, companies, I mean, that are, you know, on the table, you know, of potential collabs. But yeah, so that's definitely possible, you know, because obviously some of these famous people, they're a brand in themselves, you know.
Yeah, and I see, like, so, you know, as the popularity has been exploding over the last year or a couple years, you know, I don't want to downplay it or minimize it. You know, you're starting to see more celebrities on SE bikes. So it's like, that would be cool if that guy had a bike, you know, or you know, if
dude, Craig,
individual artists or actors or musicians or something associated. So
think
Isaac,
about, dude, think about how many people. I thought SE was big, but I live in an SE kind of a bubble, right? Like you know, Craig and I, we always talk about big bikes, right? SE owns big bikes, and you know, that's the world that we live in. And it was so mind blowing to me this past Christmas, how many celebrities made public pleas, like videos on social media, like, hey, can anyone, like, you know, we're about to give like some, you know, State of the Union, you know, whatever kind of like, you know, political thing. And they're out there like, I want to thank all my supporters. By the way, if anybody has a big flyer, let me know. You know, little Timmy needs one for Christmas. Like, there's a dude on CNN that was like trying to beg for a bike. And I mean, dude, it's like, I saw it everywhere. People are like, hey, if anybody has an SE bike, hit me up, slide into my DMs.
Yeah, they're hunting for Beanie Babies and SE bikes.
Yeah, dude. All right. And that's good. Like, I want to come back to that question too, about like, you know, the single artist kind of thing. Cause that's a good point, Craig. Like, it's, you know, you think like, okay, yeah, you got Public Enemy, but you know,
well, and Tyler, the creator, and you know, it's those bikes generate a lot of excitement, especially for the fans of, like, say, a particular artist or actor or an individual. And so I just think it's a great idea. I mean, but who am I? You know, I just kind of wanted to pick Todd's brain and just see if that's, you know, on the radar for future collabs. You know,
Stevie B.
Put Stevie B.
Put it this way, my inbox is a very exciting place.
I bet.
Go on. I'm gonna pull up a chair. All right, so
it's just crazy. Yeah,
we'll move over to Puma. And we got a couple pictures here of some Puma bikes.
Yeah, so this was, go to the bikes first. So this was not a So this was for the Agenda Trade Show, which actually, or no, Complex. I think they call it Complex Trade Show now. So they wanted some one-off bikes. And again, these were orchestrated. I mean, we worked on the graphics and all that. But for the execution, this is Mike Sayergar from HB Custom Garage, who printed the decals, embroidered, got the seat embroidered, got the pad set embroidered. And these are actually the same bikes. They didn't have time and didn't have a need either to really change the bike, to paint it all black or paint it all this or that. So this is just a new frame, new color decals, new Puma pad, and a new Puma seat, and voila, you've got this really unique bike. Now look at the front of that bike. Each bike, actually, you can see there's an artist's name. At the top, on the top tube. Yeah, so these are all music artists. That's YBA Corday, I think, and then another one is for Maddox, and another one is Danny Lee.
Danny Lee, and then this must be the
so
Maddox.
She's pretty famous. Yep. And then there's Maddox on his, and again, these are I think Danny Lay is kind of coming into her own. I don't know what's going on that brake cable. give a music kid a bike, and then that happens.
Yeah, that's what happens when you give a kid like, oh, I can flatland it.
Yeah, so there's Danny Lee. And there's the YB and Corday. Yeah, so that was just one-offs. Those were just quick. Hey, we need a bike. We want to do this. We want to kind of put it in the trade. And then not only just having the trade show, but then they're gifting them. Giving them to some of their their artists.
Well, yeah,
Sure.
and the turnaround on those bikes it's nothing like on the creative side of coming up with a new concept. Like you had a Maniac Flyer platform there, you had a Fat Ripper platform, and you just had to make some subtle adjustments and additions to decals and pad and seat, right?
Yeah.
So
now, when was that?
Yeah, that was it. Did you call me Ted?
Yeah, I meant to say Todd, but when was that? When was that Puma one? Yeah, when was the Puma one?
Well, Bob, it was I think about a year and a half ago.
Well played. Because about a year and a half ish. Yeah, so not that long ago. A year and a half. Yeah, in between a year and a half and 2 years. Okay, because the next thing I've got, and Craig, this kind of builds into what we were just talking about. Like, okay, how does something move into something else? So
right.
Todd, I'm going to take you back to 2013, and I'm going to show you a Puma bike from 2013. Here, the peas and carrots one. We've talked briefly about this. I dig the back. I like how that color on the back of that, like it just accentuates the dropout on the back. I really like the way that looks. Anyway, go ahead, dude. What's up with this bike?
Yeah, so this was another one-off. I think we may have made 5 of them, and this is kind of the same thing. And this was pre Mike Sayergar. He wasn't on the scene. But I don't even know who reached out to us, whether it was Puma or whether it was Peas and Carrots or it was Peas and Carrots manager. But Peas and Carrots is a music group, and they also worked with Puma. And I don't even know why they needed this bike or wanted this bike. I can't even remember it all. But we have some other also pictures, of some of the guys with the bike if you keep flipping through.
Yeah.
But yeah, so ironically enough, though, and that's what happens when you send the bike to them for them to do a photo shoot, and then they put the seat high and all kinds of put the seat anyway. So yeah, this was a really cool camo effect, but when ironically enough, however many years later, 6 years later, so 8 years later, when Puma's hitting us up again, the people I was talking with at Puma didn't even know about this bike. I'm like, oh yeah, we did a bike with you kind of before, and they're like, oh really?
Oh, no kidding.
So yeah.
Well, it's interesting on this bike.
There was not a connection there.
Isaac, go back
I
to
guess we did at
that
least 3 of
photo.
them.
So what I noticed, Todd, on this one, aside from the water jetted out dropouts in the back where you can see SE, there's no SE branding on this one, or at least unless this was just like a revision, but I don't see the landing gear on the forks and can't really see if it's on the head tube or the back, maybe at the back of the seat. But that was interesting to see that, the branding for SE. So is that something that ended up on the bike, even though it's a one-off, or is it something that Puma, Peas and Carrots wanted to just really emphasize their branding on there?
They may have very well bought these bikes from us, so, then they can do what they want, I guess.
Oh, I got you.
I'm trying to think. I can't remember the involvement we had in this. Is there a graphic of the bike?
Yeah, there's this.
But is there a picture like the graphic file?
No.
Yeah.
It's just this stuff.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that they bought the bike from us and they just, we didn't even, if I didn't give you the computer graphic file of the bike, I don't think we did any of that. I think they did that, they bought the bike from us and they did that. And what's really cool, more so kind of on how popular the brand is now, that even if you don't put an SE logo on it, everyone goddamn knows it's an SE bike,
Oh, for sure.
For a Big Ripper, it's like, or something like that. And then even if it's not a Big Ripper, if it's another brand, everyone thinks it's an SE bike anyway.
True. That's I like that one. The next one that we've got is one that we have talked about for a moment, because we talked about this hotel and the ping pong tables. If you've been to LA,
Thailand.
Is it or Thailand? This is the standard.
I thought you said the ping pong show, the ping pong tables. Okay.
No, ping pong tables. If you've been to the Standard in LA, dude, it's in like there's a ping pong club inside, and I remember I stayed there, and I was like, I have nothing to do, man. Oh, I'm just gonna go watch everyone play ping pong.
That's funny. I didn't know that. I thought you were being funny. Yeah. So
no, dude, I'm being 100% serious. When we checked in, they're like, Sigourney Weaver owns the hotel, and there's a ping pong club upstairs. And I'm like, okay, this isn't in the loft. That's nice to know.
Yeah. So this
tough crowd.
Totally different than the ping pong show in Thailand. This is what Todd was getting.
Yeah.
So this was a mocked up version of the DC PK Ripper fixed gear bike.
Yeah.
But running with the freewheel, and this was the standard in New York, and we sold them X amount of bikes. We, got new, if you zoom in on that, I think you can probably see the head badge, I think is the DC.
Yeah. It says DC. Yep.
Yeah, we took the fork logos off, and anyway, but yeah, these were bikes that if you stayed in the Standard hotel, you had a bike you could grab, hop on and go ride. I thought this would go a little bit further, like, oh man, the next year they'll want more bikes and we can just keep flowing them by, or not that we weren't giving them for free, of course, but like we could be like the official bike of the Standard hotel, and anyway, it didn't really go much further than giving them 10 or 20 bikes or selling them 10 or 20 bikes. But it's another, notch in the belt buckle or whatever, notch in the
dude,
belt.
I can, if I would have walked up to that hotel and saw DC SE bikes out front that I could just go and borrow. Yeah, I would have been like, that's going, yeah, bike flights. Sorry about your stolen bike. Someone beat me up and took it. So weird.
Yeah, those bikes retailed, those first years of the DC bikes, they retail for $1,000. Those DC PK or fixed gears were $1,000 retail.
No kidding.
48 spline spokes, yeah. Velocity rims, super high end hubs, and those are expensive bikes.
All right, I'm bringing up 3 files.
2009.
I got 3 bikes left. This one I think is kind of cool. Not gonna lie. Let me close this one real quick. And this is the one. All right. I want to know what's going on here. This is with a movie studio.
Okay, now.
I was wondering.
All right. Here we go.
So
I was wondering what was next. I couldn't remember.
yeah, dude. So first of all, this logo's fire. Kind of digging. I'm kind of digging how they put the horns on it. What was up with this? How far did this get?
Yeah, he was half man, half demon. So this was another, we ran into timing issues. You know, the movie was going to come out on this date. They're going to need the bikes by this date. And when we were just putting the 2 and 2 together, you know, it was like, man, we're I'm not sure if we're going to be able to catch that date, you know, and we had to pull the plug on this. We didn't get very far in the discussion. The movie production company is Lionsgate, you know, but we had a contract with Lionsgate, you know, and we just had to kind of walk away. I mean, it wasn't just one email and one graphic, and you know, it's still there's a lot of back and forth. But then we just had to we weren't going to be it was going to be too tight of a timeline.
Yeah,
and we had to walk away from this, you know. But the unique thing about this is we were going to create a bike around this Hellboy, a unique bike, and we still haven't made it, you know. So there's, you know, we still have, you know, just like with beast mode, you know, we created, you know, the Marshawn Lynch, you know, we came out with a new bike that like really didn't even exist in the market, you know, like a new size for SE and a 27.5 plus, and that's, you know, that's another thing with the beast mode collab that I just love, is that we, you know, just like we did with DC in the beginning, you know, we created something with and for this brand, you know. Then also to have, you know, Marshawn stand by, you know, we've got a fourth, you know, there's another beast mode coming out, you know, later this year, you know, which would be the fourth beast mode.
No, that's dope.
Go on.
There's always some shit up our sleeves, my short ass little sleeves. But anyway, so the bike we were working on with them, you know, 2 years ago, that model, I still haven't gone through all the paces to bring that model out, you know. So that's another new model that's still in kind of you know, in the design phase, so to speak.
That's interesting, Isaac, because it's like, okay, so the Hellboy, so what you're saying, Todd, is the Hellboy theme that just missed the mark on timing, right? It was a movie premiere. Lionsgate wanted it by whatever date, but the bike model itself, is, from getting what you're saying, that's still something that's on the table.
There's a blueprint. Right? Yeah, there's a blueprint of a new bike.
Yeah, which is a lot of work. I haven't been working on it. Don't think I've been working on it for 2 years. It's not like going to be some, but there's some other things that need to happen in order for that bike to happen, and I just haven't had time to, you know, I've worked on things, but I haven't dialed in all the loose ends, you know. But there will be a bike that will come out, you know, in the next couple years or so, you know, that would have been that bike if timing would have been perfect. It would have been the Hellboy.
What size would you say that bike could possibly be? Curiosity.
12-inch.
12-inch.
12.
I'm just waiting.
The son of Hellboy bike.
Yeah. Well, took away my. Well, that's going to be the Henderson Hauler, Craig. But of course he would come out. He would finally make the Henderson Hauler, but he would make it a 12-inch. Like that's what I could see.
Do it, Todd. Do it.
Yeah, it's a balance bike.
Put it
Thanks,
on a
Todd.
keychain.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks, Todd. All right, so I've got another one. This bike is fire, dude. I want you to remember this colorway, because this bike has a dope colorway to it. A quad angle.
Yeah, this
blue and green
is pretty exciting.
Yeah.
And then seeing it next to those shoes, those Osiris shoes.
Would you ever do camo tires? I know you, because personally, I know you hate camo tires.
Yeah, they just look a little. Yeah, I'm not crazy about them, and also, we've got our camo, and there are some brands, there's some tire vendors that we could order. We could do a camo tire, but their print of the camo isn't the exact same. It's not even close to the camo in our bike, and so it's like,
Right.
it's like, and I don't know if I have the, the time or resources to develop, have that tire company, put our camo print on their tire, which, is
Yeah.
possible, is a possibility, but I don't know if there'd be mold fees and we'll put it this way. Any tire company right now, they want to make tires, or they want to make black tires, and that's it. They do not, every tire vendor is pushing back to do any colored tires. The anodized company, and what I'm talking about is just the whole COVID, the humongous bike boom of, every factory or every bike company ordering so many bikes, every factory, every parts vendor, every assembler being overwhelmed. There's, a lot of bike brands are having to make adjustments, to their spec, change spec because they need to if they want to get the bike in the market. We haven't done it yet, and I hope we don't have to. But it's a definite, it's a norm right now for the industry for like a bike to come. Oh shit, it's got black tires, but the photo had red. It's like, well, specs subject to change without notice, and they had to change. Or road bikes or mountain bikes. It said one group of shifters, but it comes with a different group. It said Shimano, but now it's coming with Sun Race. And it's like, well, Shimano is a 18-month lead time. It's like, did you want to get that bike, before, yeah. So there's just a lot of weird movement in the industry right now with trying to get your bikes on time and trying to get them with the correct spec. It's actually and that's impossible actually. So you either have late bikes, ridiculously late bikes, or you change the spec and you have really late bikes. There's nothing on time no matter what.
That's interesting because
it's
I
all
was
your fault.
noticing that bike that on that graphic, Isaac, that you had up on that quad angle, the Osiris, it was like the plan B revision. It was like, okay, if the water, or can you bring it back up real quick?
Yeah.
Todd, it basically said like, if something doesn't work on the frame as far as the paint scheme, then this is the way it's going to go. And I was thinking about that, and Isaac, that, it's such a good point that Todd brought up. It's like for future bikes, especially with COVID, it's like, see, there it is. It says if digi camo wrap on frame proves too difficult to produce, this is the plan B. So obviously the digital camo that's maybe on the tires or on the shoes was probably on the frame at one time, right? But it's like now that, everybody knows what's going on with COVID, everything is really hard to get, goods, services, whatever. It's like, how much of that?
Not just bikes.
No, yeah, exactly. Not just bikes, but it's like, okay, so you design a bike that has a lot of anodizing in it. And like Todd was saying, the specs either have to change or you guys are going to get really, really late bikes. It's almost like the designs may be affected just by the fact that I can't, or SE or anybody out there can't get a certain manufacturing spec put on that bike in time to get that bike out. Super interesting.
Yeah, it's what all the brands are dealing with right now. Like I said, it's every brand is going to have like our distributor in America. They also distribute Fuji bikes, and let me go and look real quick. I'm pretty sure on the Fuji bikes website, on the home page or on every page, let me see if it's there. Because actually they asked, or the distributor asked if we wanted it also, but I don't see it. But it basically said, due to, COVID and the delays, all spec is subject to change. And we didn't put that on the SE page because we haven't really changed much of anything, so I'm still holding strong, but then sometimes you got to make the call, like, well, shit, do I really want this bike to be delayed for 9 months? you know,
Yeah.
to wait for that one part. And like I said, it's the vendors, it's the parts vendors that saying, hey, you know, if you want these pink tires, I'm just throwing this out as an example. You want pink tires, it's going to be, you know, 14 months. You want black, it's 2 months.
Todd,
Yeah.
does it
Or
go
no,
does it go
6
beyond
months.
like does it go beyond like even like colored tires? Like, are you guys seeing that there are delays in raw goods, like you know, your aluminum, your chromoly, your
Oh,
raw material?
no, yeah. All prices are up. Every single ounce of anything from the containers, you know, what you pay to ship a container, you know, tripled. You know, the price is usually about $3,000 for a container of bikes, you know, just for the price of the container to ship over here. And it's gone up to nearly $10,000. And then you have, I mean, every parts company, every vendor is increasing, you know, oh, your stem was this much last year. Okay, it's gonna be this much this year. I mean, across the board, you know, and then the exchange rate didn't help this year. And then you have the tariffs, you know, that kind of been coming and going a little bit, but they're still in effect. The tariffs are a 25% increase. You know, when the tariffs hit, that was a 25% increase, right? Yeah. So actually, no, 25%, but normal tariffs, you know, we always have tariffs. Tariffs normally, I think, and I'm sure I'm not correct on this, but normally are say 6%, but now they're 25%, you know? So yeah, just I could have a humongous list of why prices are up, you know, but that's not just the nightmare, because, you know, prices, you know, there's been in the industry magazines, which, you know, there's Bicycle Retailer did like a front page article, and I posted on my Facebook so people could be aware of it a little while ago. But it said, you know, for 2021, be prepared for all pricing to be up 15 to 25% on average. But that's, you know, okay, everything's up. But then that nightmare comes from, like I said, where the anodizer, you know, says, hey, we're not going to do any gold, blue, or green, or, you know, purple anodize. We're only doing black. And if you recall, and I'm sure you guys are aware of this, you've seen the Big Ripper this year, that the photograph on the website was with purple hubs and it came with black hubs. That is the one thing that had changed. You know, where I said we didn't change spec, but we did have to change that spec. And it was like, shit, you know, how late were our Big Rippers this year? You know, they were already 4 or 5 months late, you know, or 4 months, but anyway, and there were going to be another 5 months or something. And I don't even know if we had the option. I think it was just like, the vendor is not going to produce these purple hubs, you know, can you accept black? It's like, fuck yes.
Yeah.
You know, but it's the nature of the beast right now, you know, and then not everything is, you know, in our hands, so to speak.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
but
go ahead. Yeah. But
I was gonna say, what is in our hands is, if you go to the SE website now, that Big Ripper has black hubs. So we're trying to alleviate how many pissed off people. But hey, the website's got black hubs. They're not purple.
Yeah, dude. Here, I will tell you, there is something about the SE-nomics of OfferUp.
SE-nomics.
Like, I mean, I was telling Craig this last weekend, someone hit me up on Instagram from my town, looking at my City Grounds camo big flyer. And I did it with pink parts. And this dude's like, hey, I got some pink Bozeks. How many miles you got on those black ones? And I was like, you know, did this ride out. I was like, 50 miles. And he's like, you want to trade them? I'm like, yes, I do. So, you know, it's funny to see like the different, you know, you can produce a bike however you want, dude, but like 10 minutes later, we're all doing something custom to it. You know what I mean? It's like, I look at all the effort you put into pads, and the first thing I don't even put them on. Excuse me. I don't put them on my bikes. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's one of those things like, man, I'm paying extra for this whatever pads. You know what I mean? I'm like, if whatever you got to do to keep the cost reasonable, man, I'm all for it, dude. If I end up getting a completely raw, like mismatched bike, you know, just put a label on the side of it, call it like, you know, color at home, you know, choose your own adventure bike, and I'll go get it painted, man. There's so much, when you see dudes paying, you know, $2,000 for a set of wheels and hubs, I mean, no one's tripping that you know, the Big Ripper came with black hubs instead of purple hubs. You know what I mean? Like, people need to recenter a little bit and think like, congrats, you got a bike during a pandemic from another country.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, I mean, my comment to somebody would be, you know, my typical sarcastic wild man reply comment would, you know, if somebody was really complaining about the purple hubs, like, you know, those are first world problems, you know, you're experiencing.
Very.
All this shit going on right now, and all the bikes that aren't getting here, and all the everything, and you know, it's like, yes, they were supposed to have purple hubs, I know, but if you wanted the bike, you're getting black. I saw somebody comment the other day, like, well, I would have waited for black. You know, I would have waited another few more months. It's like, well, you're not everyone, and we've got, you know, numbers you need to hit. You know, you got to mix tails and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so real quick, so the tires, not to keep talking about the tires, but when you're talking about the Bozak tires, so in a perfect world, we would have had 10,000 Bozaks in the market right now in our aftermarket, you know, but we actually had to utilize every single tire getting produced for our production bikes. So the factory can't, the tire vendor, you know, tire factory, V Rubber over in Thailand, they can't, you know, they were having trouble keeping up. And we actually opened up 6 more molds for the 29-inch tire, and they had 4 before. So just a month ago or so, they opened 6. So they went from having 4 molds to make the tires to now they have 10 molds. So very soon they will get caught up with making the tires for our bikes, because that's, you know, number one that we need. And then as soon as they're caught up, then they'll be able to start making tires for aftermarket sales. So those tires will be available in all kinds of fun and exciting, you know, Bozak, you know, the Bozaks in 24, 26, 29, and all kinds of different colors. But just not yet. And that's why, and because everybody, you know, all hands on deck to get those tires produced for bikes. Because we have ordered a lot of bikes. I mean, an insane amount of bikes. So, and it's funny because you hear people, what the fuck, SE, stock up, where's your bikes, SE? Quit talking about them goddamn free stickers and make bikes. You know, it's like, you know, it's like, hey, our last year was our best year ever. That nearly doubled our previous best year ever. You know, it's like we have sold a lot of bikes, and we have a lot more bikes on order. You know, so that's the exciting thing, that it just shows the demand. You know, it's like no matter, you know, we're selling bikes like crazy, and not the concept, but the feeling out there in the market is, fuck, SE can't make bikes. Where's SE bikes? I can't find them. You know, because that's how many more people are buying them. You know.
Well, you're right.
And
it's
those
like
are
first
new people
world
buying them. We yeah.
I mean, I'd rather, and Todd, that was a great point, and I didn't mean to interrupt, but it's like, would you rather see at your local bike SE dealer bike shop a ton of SE Bozaks hanging from the ceiling for sale and no bikes, or, you know, basically get the tires on bikes and shops? It just makes sense. But it's almost like, you know, and we watch your replies and stuff, it's almost like you have to defend those concepts to folks who I think they get it, but I think they're also like, you know, maybe there's a level of frustration in it, and you're the guy that everyone looks at and sees and goes, yeah, let's just blame Todd. But, you know, in all reality, it's like it's with everything that's going on right now. I'm glad that you're putting those tires on complete bikes, that we can at least say, you know, those are going to hit the market sooner than just having a huge stock of tires. I mean, it absolutely makes sense. And like I said, Isaac, I'd rather see the complete bikes.
Yeah, I mean, dude, here's the thing.
Because it's all going to catch up, dude. I mean, there's going to be a point where the bikes they're caught up. The stock, aftermarket stock, is going to be there, and then
I'm more worried, dude. This has been the best possible thing for my financial status, like the fact that there's not SE bikes that I can just go down and buy, because I have a real problem. You know what I mean? Like I have a hard time saying no, you know what I mean? And so, like, thanks. I'm glad there's no bikes in, you know, in it locally for me, because like the other thing is too, like I learned a lot from Bren, my wife, and you know, like she wanted, everyone knows the story. I tell it every time I describe this, but she wanted the LA Ripper. The Purple Rain came out. I have all the takeoff parts from an LA Ripper that I'm going to put on a Purple Rain. She wanted that for Christmas. And I'm like, that's your Christmas present. Well, here we are. It's March. We're filming this on March 10th. They don't have a Purple Rain. Now, when I tell Bren and Sean, poor Sean at the bike shop is like, I don't have your bike yet. And she's like, it'll get here when it gets here. Let's just go ride bikes. Like, and it's a very cool lesson that she teaches me in that instance of like, you know what, man, the longer I wait, the more I'm going to appreciate it. Like, she's like, I'm just as excited about that bike when it gets here as I would be, 2 months from now, because, she's very patient, and she's like, man, I got plans for that. Like, I want to make sure that it looks like this and this and this. And so, it's a good lesson to learn, like, first world problems. I still have 5 SE bikes downstairs, and every one of my kids has something to ride, and they love it. You know what I mean? Like, I take Bodie's Duro to the shop all the time, trying to get him to upgrade it. And I'm like, dude, you want to get this sprocket? He's like, I'm good. Do you want some new stickers? Nah, I'm good. I'm like, do you want to have like new brakes or something? Nope, the brakes still work, Dad. All right, cool, man. Like, we have, odds are you have a bike to ride. If you're in bike life, you have a bike to ride. You're going to get your bikes, and they're going to be bombed, dude. Like, it's you can't fight COVID in what it's doing. You know what I mean? You have to like just let that stuff go, or else you are going to be a bitter, angry person. Like, you can't control. The more angry you get, they don't ship it faster. That's what you have to remember. Like, seeing all the boats out at port, dude, the other day from your Instagram, you're like, I mean, it was a panoramic shot of just barges,
Yeah, and that's just one port, But you can't fight COVID, but some of those people want to fight me.
Yeah,
like, come on, Todd. Can you get some bikes shipped to San Diego? We haven't gotten any bikes. It's like, I don't do shipping. I don't know when your shop ordered, or somebody is hey, I ordered this bike in October and I still don't have it yet. What's up? Get it to the shop. It's like, well, I didn't tell you you were getting your bike at a certain time. Like,
right.
And it's like, and every shipment we get of bikes is not going to fill the demand. So every time we get bikes and we ship bikes out, they're not going to every dealer, and just the nature of the beast.
Sure.
Yeah. So two things. One is, I don't know if I said this before, but the lead time, for a bicycle to get produced, used to be usually 90 days. You place the order at the factory, and 90 days later, if everything goes smooth, that bike is getting produced. 3 months later, that bike you order in, we're in March, so you order in March, it's getting made in April, May, June. It's getting made in June, it's shipping right after, you're getting it in July. Now it's a 12-month lead time. So when we order in March, that bike is getting produced next March and shipping in April. And that's 12 months right now. And that's right now, what I'm saying? Nothing is getting better. None of the delays, none of the price issues, none of any of that type of stuff is getting better. Because just the demand is just growing and growing and growing, and it's for a lot of brands. I'd like to think our brand is growing and getting more demand than the others, which I think it is. But anyway, it's just, that's the nature of the beast right now, and it's not like, don't listen to that thing. Oh, geez, SE's not going to have a bike for a year. It's like, no, we were ordering, believe you me, we were ordering big back in August, September, October, November, January, so we've been well aware,
Yeah. All right, man. I've got one more bike to show you. This is probably my favorite.
Wait.
Yeah.
And then, sorry. And let me just finish up that little, it was just kind of off on a tangent, but our team riders, we gave every rider a bike at the hoedown, back in December, every rider got, and that was perfect, because all of those bikes they got were the sample bikes that were at the photo shoot. So they got them before anyone else. And now, hey, we want to get them new bikes. Hey, you got this bike, but hey, let's give you another one. Some of those riders, depending on what bike they picked, got the bike, like for example, Jacob Santos got his big flyer. Or no, what did he get?
He got a flyer. He got a purple camo flyer.
Yeah. No, but he got that at the hoedown.
Yeah.
He got another bike, right? I think, no, but he got another bike we sent him. Well, he just showed it on his page today. I'm drawing a blank. Anyway, or Zach Lewis, he got the DJ Ripper. Anyway, so what I'm getting at, that's the guys that got their bikes quickly. There's some guys that are, for their second bike, they're not getting it until August or September, because that's the next shipment coming in, and we can't magically snap our fingers, they're like, oh shit, I got to wait 5 months to get a bike. It's like, well, that's the bike you wanted. And if you really want that bike, it's not coming for 5 months, So anyway, so it's not just, people that can't get bikes, it's just and I've said that to people quite a few times too. It's like, I can't just magically snap our fingers and, make a bike appear. Cause I do definitely get people that say, hey dude, this, or people I know, like buddies, like, hey man, I'm getting the runaround from the shop, can you help out? Like, no, because the bike's
Nope.
not here. It's not coming for 3 months, and that's I can't, or 6 months or whatever. It's like I can't magically make it appear. So
Yeah, bro, you
right.
you got me. I have them all in a secret warehouse, and this is just a fun game I'm playing. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. All right, so this is the last bike that we'll show of the bikes that didn't happen. Probably one of the sickest colorways of the evening. And there we go. Simpsons.
Oh boy.
What's going on here? I see the Odyssey tires.
They're brown,
Yes.
man. I love that fact that they look like the donuts,
So this was quite a few years ago. We never signed we had a non-disclosure agreement. I didn't sign it, so hey.
Hey.
Hey,
Yeah.
Todd's not in trouble.
So here you go, big bike BMX. Here's a graphic. So that graphic was actually done by them, Fox Studios, by their artists. I don't know if Matt Groening, whatever, actually did this, but so this was interesting. So Simpsons comes out of nowhere hitting us up. Hey, we'd like to do a bike with you guys, And I was like, my initial reaction was like, I was like, I don't know. I was like, that just seems like too much of like a Disney bike or something. Like, man, you'd see a Simpsons bike at Kmart or Walmart. You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't really with it, but I was like, I don't know. I just wasn't. I didn't jump right at it because I thought it'd be kind of cheesy, like to do something to do a Simpsons bike. It's like, well, yeah, it's a major brand, and anyway, but then comes then comes the agreement and the non-disclosure agreement and the paperwork of like literally hundreds of papers, and we had our lawyers looking at it, and it was just too much, and it was just going to be a lot of headache, so to speak. And the other thing, I can't remember what year this was. I don't know if there's a year on that file name. I don't think so. But we had other shit going on, and we turned it down. I was like, I'm not down. I was like, I don't know. I don't think it'll bring the brand enough. Anyway, and then a year later, Colt came out with the Simpsons bike. So they went down the line or whatever, and ended up doing a collaboration with Colt. Which I didn't think it looked as cool as what we were, but we didn't do that graphic, but anyway, but I didn't, I have no remorse. I mean, granted, yeah, it'd be another notch on our belt of, hey, we work with a major, Simpsons, but it was just too much. It would have been too much back end work. And talking with Robbie Morales, who runs Colt, and Neil Wood, who's a product manager, yeah, they both, because I talked to them later, and they said, yeah, it was a lot of work, So
yeah.
Anyway, so that was
all right.
That was that.
Let's do some rapid fire collab. Did they? Let's just Affliction. Did Affliction ever hit you up? Get some
No.
some MMA style SE bike. What about like Disney
No.
Star Wars, Mandalorian?
What are you saying? Would we or did they?
Would you like? What are the odds of me seeing a Star Wars bike?
Yeah. I mean, but again, that could be that paperwork and not just paperwork, but just too much. That'd probably be a pretty major one. Just like Simpsons, where it would be a lot of heavy lifting.
Yeah, the juice wouldn't be worth the squeeze, but it's cool.
Yeah.
Craig, what do you think? What would be?
I'm trying to. Dude, I could throw a million out. I was like thinking maybe there'd be another Hollywood movie like Hellboy, but then, Todd was saying it's just the timeline is too strict with some of that stuff. Movies aren't really coming out. I was like, what other, I want to see some more hip hop collabs, and I
Yeah.
thought Public Enemy was dope. I want to know, do you have right now on your table any hip hop connected collabs that you're considering?
I can't tell you.
I love it. I love
I
it.
love it. Yeah.
Are there any that you wish, man, I wish this would have happened? I don't have any, I can't prove it. Maybe you can mispronounce a name of anybody that you're like, I would have loved.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, the other kind of major one but I don't think we would have done it anyway, but, was Kanye West. It was probably about 2 years ago, after, that he hit us up, and Kanye West is like, if you Google Kanye West PK Ripper, you're going to see pictures of him riding down the street on a PK Ripper elite race bike with a full face motorcycle helmet on. But yeah, so all of a sudden he got tuned into BMX bikes real quick, and his people hit us up, and I don't know exactly, we didn't get that deep into it because they wanted us to sign an NDA, non-disclosure agreement, before they told us anything. And the non-disclosure agreement was so crazy that basically, if I talked to the president of SE's company at the time, this would be, they could sue us for millions. Like I couldn't even, like, it was so, like, it was just too risky, and then it was like, man, this is crazy. And then also Kanye's, super famous, but he's pretty much a love him or hate him type guy, and I don't know if our core market, we would have gained credibility. So I was already leaning against it. And then once our lawyer was like, hey, he's like, I don't feel comfortable, with us signing, you or whatever, signing this like NDA. So we just walked away from that one too.
Okay. If you,
so we walked, so
go ahead, Todd.
I was just going to say, so yeah, we walked away from The Simpsons, Kanye West, Pabst Blue Ribbon, Hellboy, so you don't just throw shit at us and we take it. There's some major, ones that we just didn't do for, like I said, for various reasons.
Okay, you got two choices here. Okay, you either have to build the Henderson Hauler Big Ripper or the Big Bike BMX Big Ripper. Which one are you going to put out?
Yeah, they would both sell about the same.
Yeah, two.
Yeah, you get one for me and one for Craig.
Well, he's got to choose. I just want to see if we're going to perhaps see a Big Ripper, Big Bike BMX Big Ripper. So, Todd, what do you got?
Is the Henderson Hauler high tensile steel?
Oh my. Yeah. You guys, I will say, you'll never see a Big Bike BMX collab, you guys. So like, I appreciate it when you guys say that on like the Instagram and stuff like that, but you guys, like, it would be Craig and I buying them, and that's it. The rest of you guys would be like, that's cool, man. And then Craig and I would buy one. And then I oh man, that's too much pressure. I would never want a collab bike. And I think there's
never knows.
With a side hack.
With a side, yeah, dude. Yeah.
With a big bike with a side hack.
Yeah, that would be hilarious. As long as it's all white. So what, okay, so I've tried to let this go and it just keeps coming back. So you said there's a beast mode coming out this year. 27.5. Can you give me an idea of a color? No. Todd's shaking his head, you guys.
Yeah, you can't see me shaking his head. Hell
no. No. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. No, we have trying to think what bikes haven't came out this year.
The PK Ripper 27.5 is a good one that hasn't come out this year.
Yeah. So, and you don't know what color it is either, right?
No.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to think because our model years, are kind of blending together, and we're kind of getting away from calling bikes by model years, but of course people will, and that's kind of, when you put it on the website and then we put them in our archive, we've got to have a year to it, but
right.
But we're, like I said before, we're kind of rolling out bikes whenever we want. But yeah, there's a new PK Ripper 27.5 that will come out. There's a new beast mode that will come out. There's a new Duro that will come out, and all of those are on paper. There are model year 21 bikes, so they're in the same, on paper, in the same year as all of our other bikes we debuted at the Hoedown. They're just late editions.
Yeah.
And then for, when you guys were talking, when we were talking about delays and stuff, you know, a lot of brands for their next line of bikes didn't do hardly any new bikes because of these delays for the factories. It's going to be way easier to just keep ordering the same apple than to order a tomato, or not a tomato, or an orange, or, you know, or whatever, something different, you know, because then you got to get a sample, you got to get the photograph, you got to, you know, the vendors got to create new graphics, or anyway, it's just a big ordeal, you know, to have a new bike versus ordering the same bike. But
Yeah,
for us, you know, because there's so much excitement for new SE anything, you know, we are doing, most all of our bikes will be new. So, you know, new colorways, new, you know, not a lot of crazy updated spec, because number one, our bikes are pretty on point. You know, there's not a lot we need to change, because we just made a lot of changes for this past year. And number two, you know, not wanting to have those, you know, crazy delays, you know, by changing a lot of specs. So a lot of the updates or new bikes will be mostly, you know, colors and graphics. But we do have some changes, of course, and we do have, I can't even think off the top of my head, but no less than 5 new models that did not exist in SE's lineup before. So we got some exciting stuff, you know.
I don't know how to even react to that, dude. Like, I'm processing. Did you said there's 5 new unreleased new frame bikes that we haven't seen before?
These are new frames. These are new frame drawings, new fork drawings. Yeah, new bikes, like new models, new. Well, one. Let me get through it. One is definitely a new bike. Another is definitely a new bike. Another is a decent modification of an existing bike. Another is a brand new bike. We've never made that before, and that even in that wheel size. Another one is a new bike a brand new bike, new frame, new everything. And another one is a modification, decent modification. Yeah, it's either 6 or 7.
This is why I love talking to Todd.
Dude, yeah, not even in the same size ever made before. What was the name of that bike, Todd? I couldn't hear you.
I missed it.
What?
What?
You said what?
This is why, you guys, this is why I love talking to Todd, because you after, you know, 15 minutes of chatting with Todd, like the brakes come off and you're going to get full wild, man. And it's so much fun because you don't know what you're going to do. All right, man. Dude, we've kept you for a long time. Appreciate showing the stuff that could get you in trouble and not us. Appreciate that. Good looking out.
Hey, I didn't sign the NDAs. I'm cool.
He's good on this one, man.
Technicalities. I love it. So dude, how many collabs do you think we will see in the next, say, 9 months? How many collabs that like, because there's a gap between zero.
Oh no. There's the one that we were working on a while ago. So yeah, so there's some heat coming pretty soon.
And then because I'm thinking there's a gap between, like, we're going to end this with ones that didn't happen. We went up to some of the recent collabs, but then there's that secret window between, like, hey, we're talking now in 2020 and 2021 about the collabs that obviously are still secret because they haven't come out.
Yeah, there's something that we've been working on for well over a year, probably a year and a half. And we are only weeks away from people knowing about it, and not just knowing about it, but the full debut. And it's going to catch people off guard. I'm so excited that how down low it's been, you know, where nobody really knows, you know. But it's a really major one. It could be our biggest thing we've ever done. So that's happening very soon.
And it's weeks away, you said?
Didn't say the bikes will hit market weeks away, but the release, the information release, is weeks away.
Well played, Todd. Well played.
Nice,
Well played.
Nice.
You see, dude, you see that bait right there, Craig?
Yes,
I'm like,
I saw it.
go on.
Isaac was
Navigating
Yeah.
those waters, Todd. I like it.
Yeah. And then we have, like I said, we have a lot of other collabs, that potential collabs, that the stuff we're working on now could, nothing, I mean, with those lead times and whatnot, like I said, well, we've got two things there, something's happening in the coming weeks, and then more of that something is happening later in the summer. So there's gonna be a lot of excitement about SE and the brand, and it's gonna be ridiculous. But anyway, but then for all these other collabs that we're in current discussion with now, the quickest one, might drop in a year, and then we'll have another one drop after that, maybe 6 months later, and another one. Like I said, it's really cool and unique now that we're not working on these regimented model years, which we used to do. It's like it would come summertime and like, hey, here's all of our new bikes, every single one of them, and then you'd work on the whole next year, and then come summertime, hey, here's all of our new bikes, but now it's, we wanted to get away from model years. For example, that PK Ripper 27.5, that's obviously is, such an awesome bike. It's like, dude, I'm not changing this bike. We didn't not change that because of any issues of production or whatever. It's like, no, that bike is fucking perfect. I'm keeping.
Don't
there's
touch
no
it.
reason to not run that bike.
Yeah, please
for
don't.
nearly 2 years. Yeah.
Please don't. I'm still running my stock brakes. I mean, dude, I love that bike with every ounce of my body. Like, you guys, the PK Ripper 27.5 is the fountain of youth. If you are over the age of 35 and you want to be comfortable on a bike, the PK Ripper 27.5 feels like your BMX bike that you grew up with. I do endos, I do tail whips on it. It's very easy to jump. It's balanced. Please, God, Todd, don't ever change anything on that bike. It is you touch gold with that. And dude, I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see what happens. I'm a big fan of the no model year thing because it's a lot easier for me to swing things under the credit card radar versus like I need to buy 5 bikes that I've got my eye on because they all come out the same month. You know what I mean? And basically it's like we all stand up at the front of the line going, okay, man, you got to pick one because you're only going to get, like, you can spend enough to buy one bike, and which colorway do you want the most? And spacing them out, dude, makes it so much easier for me to appease my big bike habit. And I can now I'm buying like a spring bike, and I'm buying a winter bike, and it's just it's a lot easier. I think it's a way better plan. It's a way better business model than just like, okay, man, I gotta, because you think about it before, dude, your bikes came out, it's October, you're buying for Christmas, you got to hide them if you get them for your kids, and you're like, I got to pick my favorite bike because I may not get a chance to get that bike again. So spacing them out, dude, it's so much easier to feed, the market. I think it's a smart way to do it.
Yeah. We have some collabs that are in the early discussion that, won't be a bike collab, maybe it'll be a seat and pads, collab, so we have some things on the table for that, we've got some other limited edition release bikes that will be coming out in the next 6 months or so. There's just a lot of fun. There's a lot of stuff in the works.
Yeah. All right, dude. Well, the one thing I do want to say is thank you for your time. Thanks for coming out and talking with all 3 of these collab episodes. I do want to point out, you guys, that he just said that there's seat and pad collabs. He just wrote it's the end of the show. We're going to let that one slide. But did you say like seat, kind of like what you did with the beast mode pads, right? Is it going to be like that?
Yeah, exactly. But way more hype and way more legit Not that that wasn't legit, but that was a brand where we that was kind of a late addition to the bike, but this will be new stuff from scratch. Yeah. And then also we've got, this isn't that exciting, but we've got 10 new soft goods that will be in stock selling on the website within a matter of weeks. We have, I think, 6 t-shirts, 2 long sleeve shirts, a sweatshirt, and a girl's shirt. That's 10 different items. We're also working on quite a few other merchandise items, belts, backpacks, water bottles, wallet, sandals. Some of this stuff would be way down the road, but jackets, more hats. I'm drawing a blank, but yeah, there's so much stuff we're working on right now. It's every day is just ridiculously busy.
Dibs on the SE backpack, belt, and flip flops.
Yeah.
I'm down for that.
Hip sack, duffel bag. I want to do sweatbands, wrist sweatbands.
Yes. Bring them back, dude.
I might do some of those. I might do some of those just for maybe a giveaway to see how it goes, and maybe spend $500, get 300 pair. I don't know, I don't even know how much they cost, whatever. But I don't know. I want to I want to kind of orchestrate bringing that back. Imagine if that was the new thing. Instead of putting your stem pad on your top tube and down tube, to having this, not saying instead, but just how that was kind of a weird thing that just happened, if all of a sudden, everyone wanted to have their SE, sweatbands, when they're riding,
I'm down, dude, because it's 120 degrees in Phoenix in the summertime. So sweatbands actually, you're like, and then put them on the bike. And I'm like, no, bro, you put them, keep yourself looking.
Double up.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. So, Todd, thanks again, man. I appreciate you coming out. Appreciate you hanging out. Talk, Todd, please talk.
We're working. You see my hat? This is not a definite hat, whatever, but yeah. So these are just little things that are maybe happening, maybe not happening. Yeah. So we're working on things.
I'm a big fan of that hat.
We're working on things.
Dude, yeah.
All
So,
right.
So you guys go to, I'll just say this. I'll end mine with, go to Todd's Instagram, go to his Facebook. There's some pretty cool looking, what looks to be soft good, maybe pictures that are being posted right now of like the wings. There's the Evel Knievel #1. If you guys remember the 80s, there's some cool stuff you're posting, dude. So we'll do another episode on merch and swag. But thanks for your time tonight, man. Appreciate you talking about the bikes that didn't happen. Good luck with the rest of this year and the releases that are coming out. I'm excited. You got a good plan going. Can't wait to see the new 27.5 PK Ripper. What color was that? Did you say it was going to be? Is there a color on that one?
It won't be high polish. That's all you get.
Oh man. All right. That's all I needed. There goes my night.
Hey, wait till you see our new stealth mode bikes. That's an exciting thing. But anyway, all right, we got to go.
Yeah. And I'll just say this, man. Todd, thanks for being here, man. If you guys aren't hanging out to the end of our shows with Todd, you guys are missing out, man. I hope you're still here. I know you're still here. This trilogy of collabs was so rad from the beginning all through all of the designs and different companies and brands that have been with Todd and SE bikes and then where we came to tonight, man. Todd, thanks so much. It was such a fun time hanging out. Just want to give a quick shout out to you, Isaac, for being here tonight, and our sponsors, PhoenixBikeCompany, KnightBike, OldBones Therapy, Etnies Shoes, and Crushed BMX Gloves. Thanks everyone for your support and everybody who's been hanging out with us tonight and throughout all these episodes. We sure appreciate you hanging out. And if it's your first time here and you haven't done it yet, man, a subscribe, a comment, and a like. Let us know what you think. If you want to know anything more from Todd or SE Bikes or Big Bike BMX on what we've talked about, drop a comment down below. Thanks for hanging out in the live chat with us. And Isaac, I'm going to throw it back to you, brother, to close this thing down.
Yeah. Hey, again, Todd, thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate everything you're doing for Big Bikes. Thanks for taking it on the chin all day long about question and answers about bikes and people's lack of understanding about what a global pandemic really is. I think you're doing a fantastic job.
Yep.
And keep making dope bikes, dude. Like for all the things that you're known for, your passion for the sport of BMX, and I mean like all size bikes, like just having fun on bikes, dude, is so real. And so, I love the character, the wild man, and I love all that, but it's so fun to see like the actual, like the real Todd, where it's like, hey man, yeah, I'm gonna, have some fun with you if you send me a DM, but like, when the rubber meets the road and there really is something you can address, you do it. And you own up to, hey, yeah, we could have done that better. I'm going to let the factory know. Like that kind of stuff, dude, is so real. And I can't, like, it just blows my mind as an 80s kid that like brand people really do care about their bikes as much as you do. So I appreciate that. Come back and chat. We'll do it again soon. I want to hear more about the merch actually, because I'm a big fan of merch, dude. Like that was one that, like, I couldn't always afford a new bike, man, but I could afford a new hat. I could afford a new belt. I could afford a fanny pack. And so, that was just such a rich part of my childhood. I can't wait to hear more about that. So you guys, thanks for hanging out. Live chat's been lit. Oh, go.
Yeah. Sorry. Real quick. Yeah. I was just gonna say, for any of you losers that didn't listen to all the way to the end, then you're not going to hear anything about the 4 new hydro dip bikes and the wood grain bike. But all right, gotta go. Gotta go. Cut it off.
You can
and the four camouflage bikes too, the new camos, the pink camo, anyway, yeah.
Man, Isaac's credit card on its own just floated out of his wallet. Did you see that?
E-Trade just coughed. That's what happened. That went straight out of my credit card realm into, I'm going to have to sell some stocks. That's all I just heard. Oh man.
Let's get out of here before Todd gets in more trouble, dude.
I know. You guys, thanks for hanging out. We love you.
Thank you guys.
You guys, it's been Todd. It's been Todd Lyons all night long, you guys. And we love you. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you in the live chat. Craig, we'll see you next week.